Hey guys, Frank here and welcome to another episode of Digital Classroom in our series, How Did I Shoot This One? And today we have a really special one. It's this shot. But it's actually not this shot. It's a lot more of those shots. But hey, we just selected one that I like. So let's continue. Now, during the workshops, we of course give a lot of attention to lighting, but also set building. But there's one thing that I sometimes throw into the workshops that I find myself always interesting to tell to people, but also very interesting to see the responses of our attendees. And that's, what do you do if you have to make a fake commercial or if you have to shoot a fake band? Now, in this case, I love using my own guitars as a prop. So here I'm using a beautiful Ibanez VBK77, a Steve Vai model, a really nice vintage guitar. But that guitar can be used in many different ways. You can use it for nu metal, for progressive metal, for jazz, for blues, for rock, for metal. It doesn't really matter. So I thought it would be interesting to just see what you can do with using angles, using wide angles, using positions, smoke, color, but also the expressions of the model, the posing of the model, the whole way that you approach the shot, to see if we can make totally different looks with one guitar, one setup, and one styling. Now, the trick is, of course, that when you do a commercial shoot or you do a shoot for a band, dive into what your subject is doing. What does your subject want to portray with that photo shoot? If it's a metal band, you probably don't want to shoot them in a tulip field with nice dresses, right? Maybe you do, but if that fits the band, by the way, then absolutely do it. But maybe for a death metal band, you need something a little bit more darker, maybe black and white, a lot of grain. Or maybe is that a little bit of cliche? And maybe that's even nicer if you put it in maybe an old building or maybe a brand new, I don't know. This is why it's important to always dive into the character that you shoot, the brand, the character, the product, or the band. Now, if you look at those images, it's of course shot during a workshop. So that means that I'm very limited. I only have that one guitar for this setup. I only have this one lighting setup, and the model is dressed the same way. But by changing the angles and adding just a little bit of color in Photoshop, adding some contrast, maybe make it black and white, you can give that same setup totally different looks. Now, in this case, the part of the workshop is not only about teaching people that you can shoot a guitar in many different ways. That's, of course, fun, but it's not really the idea. The idea is to look at one setup and get as many different looks from that setup as possible. When you shoot, for example, a family, walk around your subject. In other words, shoot into the light, shoot with the light, and shoot under a contrasting angle. You have the same lighting setup, your same sitter, it's in the same time, but you get three totally different images. But also when you're on a location and your client looks at your monitor and they go like, yeah, I really like that shot, but I don't recognize myself in it. A photographer needs to translate everything back that the client tells you. So if the client tells you, I need it to be a little bit more aggressive, well, maybe a lower angle or a wide angle, get that guitar really into the frame. That will give you a much more aggressive look, of course. And that's all about what you can do with your gear. And that's practice, practice, practice. But also, of course, watch a lot of YouTube videos and visit workshops. Lighting setup for this setup was pretty complicated, but also very simple. The Gikoto GT400 with the Quickie on our model. The Quickie again to really pinpoint my light towards my model. As my accent lights, I'm using two strobes, one with the red gel and one with the blue gel. And somehow I just love using blue and red. They're on the same axis of the color triangle and they complement each other beautifully. Red, of course, is a real attention grabber. It can be love, it can be hate, both sides of the spectrum. And blue, of course, gives you that really nice contrasting color and a little bit of coolness in your shot. And we all need some coolness in our shots, right? So, lighting setup. 3 lights. But if you just use it like that, it won't be that spectacular. So, we added a little bit of smoke, actually a lot of smoke. Now, with smoke, you get this beautiful effect that you have 2 sides of the smoke. You have the side from the front that will act like a reflector, and you have the side from the back that will use as a diffuser. So that means if you use a red and a blue gel on each side, the smoke will make sure that they just blend together very nicely in your setup. Now, after that, add some motion and a model with long hair, of course, the guitar from different angles. And, well, again, we can talk about it for hours. Let's take a look at the behind-the-scenes video of this rocking shot. Or was it blues? Or metal? Or prog metal? I don't know. Just look at the video. As you can see, a great setup and totally different images. Now, if you try this at home, don't think that you will nail the look immediately. Again, you're shooting with a model, you're shooting with a guitar, and you're shooting with one set. But if you practice this and you can get a slight difference and you already know why you get those differences, as soon as your client talks to you, hey, I have this idea for a really aggressive shot, you immediately know, oh, aggressive shot, let's do something with a wide angle, let's get the guitar in, let's get the hairs down, so get that really moody look. And that just makes it way easier to get your assignments done the right way. Thank you so very much for watching, guys. If you like what we do, subscribe to our channel, leave comments below, and of course smash that like button because we really like that. But most of all, tell other people about our channel so we can grow and put out more content for you guys. And again, put your questions below and maybe you see your question answered in the next episode of Digital Classroom. See you again next time. Bye, guys.